Hello, hello. I'm just going to do this very quickly to hopefully make this image better. Hello, and thank you for joining me live today for a surprise that I have to share with you. And I'm curious if you can guess what the surprise is. That means if you think you know what it is, you can guess. You can tell me what you think the surprise is. And then I will give you some hints. So, a hint is when I tell you a little bit about the surprise, and then that is a hint or a clue. So, I'm holding the surprise here in my lap, and that's why I only have one hand. Hi, Sophia. Welcome. Hello from Japan. Where is everyone listening from? Hi from Argentina. If you're listening, recorded or live, let me know where you're listening from and what do you think the surprise is today? Do you have any ideas what the surprise could be? And I'm curious, in your native country, is it popular to play guessing games? A guessing game where I think of something and you try to guess what it is, or I give you hints or clues and then you try to guess what it is. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. We've got some of our regulars here. We've got someone from Russia. Thank you for joining me live today. Hi, Josie. Did I say your name correctly? From Quebec. Welcome. I'm wondering if you are originally from Quebec or if you have immigrated there. Sophia, I guess I'm not sure I knew that. Oh, did you see the surprise? Here is my surprise to share with you today. Meet Pippa. This is Pippa, our new cat. You can see that she does not like being held like this. So I'm going to see if I can get her attention with this toy that she really likes. Pippa, she's like, I don't know if I want to see that toy or not. Look at the toy, Pip. So Pippa joined our family last weekend. You may have heard that I had a big loss in my life last weekend. Um, One of my friends passed away very sadly, but I had just adopted Pippa. Pippa came to us. I had adopted her. I've wanted a cat for a very long time. She really likes this toy, but she thinks she needs to clean her paw right now. A cat or dog's hand is its paw. Actually, lots of mammals have paws. Look, Pip, look. Oh, she likes this. This is just a toy that I made for her from a piece of string and some pieces that have come off of my pillows. And she likes to chase it. Right now, like I said, she really wants to clean her paw. So you can't see her too well. But so I have wanted a cat for a very long time, and I haven't gotten one because if you know about Espy, my dog, Espy was adopted, and I wasn't sure what Espy would think of a cat. And so I waited until last weekend. This little cat came into my life quite unexpectedly. I was not expecting it. And I couldn't resist, meaning I couldn't say no because I was wanting a cat and she was so cute and she needed a home. She didn't have a home. Her mother, I will see if I can show you a picture of her mother from my phone. And then I'm going to let Pip go because, well, she's still right here. But, and I'll share some other pictures with you. But Pippa had a mother who was white and a father who was black. And all of the kittens in the litter were white like Pip. And I want to show you this picture of her mother because to see if you can see that her mother has one blue eye and one green eye. She's very beautiful. And I'll show you a picture of her father as well. Let me see here. I need to go back on my phone so you can see a picture of her father who is all black, but I don't know why oh, there he is. And he's quite handsome. We say that a male human or cat or dog or whatever is handsome. And so he's all black and he's looking rather regal there, rather regal. But all the kittens were white, which I thought was kind of interesting. Pippa does have a tiny bit of black on her. I'm going to see if she will let me show you. She does not like to be held too much, but right here, I don't know if you can see on the camera that she has just a tiny bit of black. And some of her siblings, brothers or sisters can be called siblings, had more black on them, just a little. None of them had much. They mostly looked like Pippa to be all white with these really cute pink ears. So I'm curious about your pets. If you have a pet that you love, let me know in the comments and also ask me any questions you have. Today, I'm going to help you work on some pronunciation that is related to the way we pronounce kitten. So if you notice, when I say kitten, you can't hear the T very much. I don't say kitten. I say kitten, kitten. This is what we call a glottal stop. You don't need to know what it's called. It is where when we come to that T, those two T's together, we make a stop kind of in our throat. Kit, kit. You can hear it right here. Kit, or I should say you can feel it right here. Kitten, kitten. You may have noticed the same sound in the word mountain. We don't say mountain. It's okay. If you say mountain, it's totally okay. We're going to totally know what you mean. If you want to sound a little more natural, you can say mountain. So it's like mountain, mountain. And we don't pause when we say it, but you can hear that little stop in the word mountain. Kitten. If you can think of another word that has a sound like this, a glottal stop with a double T or with a T, just mountain just has one T, put the word below and I will help you to pronounce it. I have a couple others that I want to share with you today and maybe a little vocabulary, but I also want to answer your questions about English, about pets, about my pets, about your pets. Okay, so I see a couple things here. Jeff said he has a funnel cake delivered to his door. Do you know what a funnel cake is? Very delicious. At least for me, when I think of a funnel cake, they put a batter, pardon me, batter, pardon me, is when you mix all the ingredients and it's sort of like a liquid and you can pour this batter through a funnel. A funnel is shaped like this and you pour it into hot oil and it makes a funnel cake and we sprinkle powdered sugar on top. It's quite delicious. And let's see here. Aldona says, I have parrots. They are very loud always in the morning. Yes, parrots are a bird and even the birds, the wild birds here where I live are quite loud in the mornings. I actually love to wake up to the sound of the wild birds in my neighborhood. Oksana says, my cat is 13. You know, it's amazing because cats can live very long lives. The cat that I had just before Pippa was named Ethel, and Ethel lived to be 15 or 16 years old. I don't remember for sure. She was an older cat, and I had her since she was a kitten. So I love animals in general, but I love to have pets like cats and dogs. Ramgliev, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, says, I've been always having an issue with pronouncing mountain. What should I do? I would try not to look at the word. You are not the only person in this situation. A lot of students have a hard time pronouncing the word mountain. So don't look at the word. Don't think of it the way you have pronounced it before, and practice it this way. Say "mount," "mount," kind of like you're saying "ow" when we get hurt. We say "ow." So "mount," "mount," and the last sound is that like an N, mountain, mountain. And what I would do is practice it over and over. See if you can get some feedback from a teacher or a tutor or a conversation exchange partner. Um, a conversation exchange partner may not be able to help you as much, but they can help you to continue practicing. And if you have watched my video called Will a Language Exchange Help Me Improve My English or Help Me Become More Fluent, something like that, I think language exchange partners are a very good idea. Okay. Inglés con Emer says, hello. Hello. It's good to see you. Welcome from Brazil. This person's name is written in Russian, so I don't know how to say it, but if Russia attacks another oh, it's a question. If Russia attacks another country, let's say the USA or Canada, will you continue to chat with Russians? This is a very good question. I have some students that are Russian who are wonderful people, and I don't think that our government represents every person in the country. Hopefully, every in the United States, our government represents as many people as possible, but of course, not always. Pardon me while I just have a little drink of my tea. This is a good question. So I'm not sure now that I see your name written in what I think is Russian, but I can't say for sure. I'm curious if you are from Russia or from another country that has a similar looking language, because I'm not educated in Russian or Belarusian or any of those languages that have a similar alphabet. Let me know where you're from. I will answer this question in this way, and let me know if you're listening to the recording or live if you agree or disagree with me. I will continue to speak with anyone who is respectful of me and the other people in the class or the live that we're in now. Um, and as long as that person is not being hateful, unkind, or anything like that, I will continue to speak to people in these classes. I do not judge an entire group of people by the actions of a small part of that group of people. This is my own opinion, but I'm curious what your opinions are. Jefferson says he's from Brazil as well. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Uh, Jeff says it's just my 2 cents. I'm going to talk about that phrase in a minute. I don't think it is a time or place to talk about war. Yeah, Jeff, it's interesting. I agree with you and I also disagree with you. And I hope I don't offend you by saying that. I always welcome people who disagree with me to share their opinions with me in case I learn something. I do think there's a time and place to talk about things, and I also think it's very important for us around the world to talk about some very important topics in a peaceful way. So, in this case, I will answer these questions because oftentimes, if I have a topic, for example, and the topic is phrasal verbs, then it's very hard for me to talk about another topic like present perfect because it gets confusing. Today, it's kind of open because I had a surprise to share with you and some pronunciation, which I will continue to share with you. Um, oh, good. I'm glad that you didn't take offense, Jeff. Thank you. I appreciate your open mindedness. Um, Inglés comme Emer, I hope I'm saying your name even close to correct, says this community is above these questions. I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you think so. I hope that everyone feels welcome here. Ramgliev says, as a Russian, I agree with you. Um, I'm glad to hear that, Ramgliev, and you are welcome here as a respectful person. Um, if anybody started to say hateful things about another country, another person, another group of people, anything like that, I do my best to not respond to those and to block anyone who is being hateful or inappropriate. And I think there's mostly we kind of know what those things are. There might be some disagreement on what things are inappropriate, but so I hope I answered your question, and I hope you feel welcome here if you are a someone who is respectful and kind. So let's go back to glottal T. So we have kitten, kitten and mountain. I'd like to add mitten, which rhymes with kitten. So I'll write them in the chat here. If you're live, you can see the chat on the side here. And if you are watching the recording, make your video image smaller on your laptop or your desktop, and you should be able to see what I'm writing here. So this is a mitten. Mitten rhymes with kitten, like the little kitten I recently got. And you can practice any of these words because sometimes one is more easy than another for you, and that will help you with some of those that are harder. So, a mitten we wear on our hand to keep it warm. Does anyone know something else that we wear on our hand to keep us warm, but it is not a mitten? It has a place for each individual finger. If you watched my video about what was that video about? Monument Valley. Then you saw me talk about it there. If you know what is like a mitten, but it keeps your hands warm, but it has a place for all of your fingers, write it in the comments. Jeff put another one with a glottal T. Soften. Actually, this one's a little different now that I say it. The T is silent on soften. So it almost just sounds like there is no T, soften. And this one often gets often and soften rhyme, but sometimes people say often, but we do not say soften. So here's often, here's soften. They rhyme, meaning the end of the words sound the same, like cat and bat or good and hood. These words rhyme. Often rhymes with soften. Let's see. Aldona, thank you for the kind words. Francisco, thanks. Good to see you, Francisco. I always love getting your comments, and thank you to everyone, really, whoever comments on my videos, whether it's a question or a kind comment or a suggestion. I always really enjoy the comments. I am not always able to get to them the same day, but I try to get to them within the same week. Sometimes when I'm having a difficult week, like this last week when one of my friends passed away, it's harder for me. I've had a lot of things to do. I've been helping her family and talking to other friends who didn't know about it, things like that. But I really enjoy reading your comments and answering them. So thank you so much. And of course, it helps the channel. And I always appreciate those of you who are supporting our channel here. Let's see. I see somebody said it. What are gloves? Okay, this is a glove. Mitten, glove. And this is how we say the differences. I love mittens. I guess I could say I prefer mittens and because they keep my fingers warm, but maybe I should say I usually wear gloves, so I prefer wearing gloves for their utilitarian I lost my word, for their for the fact that they are very useful or utilitarian. But I love mittens. I love the way they look. I love the way they feel. And I love that they keep your hands very warm. I really like these mittens. Um, any other words that you can think of that have a glottal T in them? I'll give you a hint. There's others with a double T in it. Eaten. Yes, Jeff got one. Eaten. He put it in the comments if you can see Jeff down there. Eaten is for instance, if we use the present perfect and we say, I have eaten this dish before, I have eaten, we don't say eaten. Now, just as soon as I said that, I realized there are times we do say that, and there are people who would say that more often. Depends on where you grew up, where you learned the language. But especially if we want to emphasize, I have eaten that before, then you'll hear the T. Um, Okay, I'm looking to see if there are other questions or thoughts. Yes, Tarana, I think is your name. I'm not sure if I said it correctly. Mittens keep much more mittens keep your hands more warm than gloves. I agree with you. Ah, yes, Shalish, beaten, beaten. Written, written. This is a very good example. Written. Gotten, yes. Uh, gotten is more American English than British English, but yes, we say gotten. I'm American, so I say gotten. There's a lot of people saying that. Whether or not to say I have got or I have gotten. If you're in the United States, in fact, until I learned more about British English, I thought it was incorrect to say I got something. In the United States, it is considered incorrect. And you will be corrected if you have a teacher in school or something like that. You would say, I have gotten the news. But in British English, it is correct to say, I got the news. So it depends on which English you're learning. And people in the United States are starting to say it more. This language that was already a global language is becoming more and more of a global language every day. Okay, just a couple more things to look at here, and then I have one more to share with you. Thank you, everyone, for these kind words. I haven't worn mittens since I was 6. What a great example of the present perfect and using the mitten, the word we're working on pronouncing. So one more with a glottal T that I have to share with you is button, button. Tiana, if you know my daughter Tiana, I know Jeff does. When she was a child, she had a kitten that she named Button. So this is a button. This is also happens to be a thing that Tiana painted and put together for me for a gift. I don't know if yes, Mother's Day in 2013. And she glued these buttons on because she knows that I love trees, but this symbol of the tree of life, is one of my all-time favorite symbols or images, you could say. And so we say button like we say mitten and like we say kitten. We have that glottal T sound there. So I would recommend that you practice these words. Go back and listen to the video again for a few things. Listen to see if there's words you don't understand and see if you can try to understand or guess what they mean by the context. Practice the pronunciation of these words with glottal stop and also do some shadowing. So listening to it again and copying what I say. Sometimes that I hear a glottal T in sentence. Yes, you can, sentence. Yeah, it does sort of have a glottal T in it. I haven't really thought about that one before. Sentence. Um, Thank you again, everyone, for being here, for participating, writing in the comments on the videos as they are recorded, and hanging in there with me. In other words, even though I couldn't make my regular videos this week, you stayed and supported me even though it wasn't exactly like you've had it in the past. Thank you for supporting me while I'm living life like everyone else, having ups and downs, and, I do have a video I'm looking forward to sharing with you this coming Tuesday, and I hope to see you in the comments there. Thanks again. Bye, everyone.